Do you know who you are really and what you're capable of? Then he went further to say, I'm sure you think so, but just because you believe something doesn't make it true. Let that sink in. That you believe something, that you even say words of affirmation to yourself that, oh, I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm good, I can do this thing, I believe I can, doesn't make it come true, doesn't make it true. You know why? Because if you do not put in the work, if you do not have the level of resilience that you need to get the work done, nothing will happen. So you can say all the words of affirmation that you have, that you've written down. You know, you can say all of those things, but if you do not put in the work, the level of work that is needed, then nothing will happen. Nothing at all would happen. In fact, chapter 1 itself says, I should have been a statistic. Like, literally, just one of those guys, just one of the numbers of things going on, of things that have happened to people in the past. You know, it could have just been like every other person, but he's taking us through a journey. He's taking us through a process. He's telling us a story, and that's where we meet him in the very first chapter. You know, for many of us too, we've been through something like that. It's not necessarily abuse, but maybe some sort of poverty, some sort of opportunities that you didn't get when you were growing up, and you could see every other kid, you know, getting it, they're going to the best schools, and you didn't get to go to that kind of school. Your siblings grew up in an environment where even to eat 3 square meals was very hard. You know, those are the kind of things that might form your own, you know, your own childhood trauma, so to say. There are certain things underlined in the first chapter, which I want to sort of reiterate and read out to everyone. And it says, my mother's everyday was a lesson in survival. She was told she was worthless, so often she started to believe it. She was told she was worthless, so often she started to believe it. And this is something we can actually see around us today. When we allow ourselves to stay in a particular situation with certain people, certain places for so long, we begin to accept that as our reality. So when people tell you you're not good enough, you cannot do it, you're not that person you think you are, you're not that good, you know, you're not that smart. Even if you had believed before then that you were smart, that you're good, that you could do anything you put your mind to. Okay, it's back. I noticed someone who was actually doing well at the time. And there was one day I asked him a question. I asked him to do something, and he was like, Rebecca, please you just go ahead. You know, you are the guru. You are the smart one. You belong to the category of the very smart young people around here. Myself, no, I don't think I can do this thing. And he's actually a very young person, whom I believed at the time was very smart. But because he had stayed in a place, he had worked with that person at the time for 4 years. 4 years of being told every day that you're not good enough. 4 years of being constantly belittled, told you are nothing. So imagine what that has done to his self-esteem. So I had to tell him, I said, no, don't do that. You're good enough. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. But still, he didn't see any good in it. He was like, oh, okay, Becca. Oh, okay, I hear you. Okay, I hear you. Just, this kind, when you're done talking, just do what you have to do. Just do it. That's not for me. I mean, I'm not good enough. I don't belong to the caliber, the category of people who should be doing that. And, you know, that thing just told me one thing, that Rebecca, you do not belong here. And that was how I walked out of that place. I'm like, I'm sorry, but the pay is enticing. I love it here. You know, I love the opportunity to work. I love the opportunity to network and meet people and travel. But I don't want to be here. I don't want to work with someone or under someone who would completely make me look at myself differently. Someone who make me think I am not as good as I thought. And see, no matter how strong you think you are, you can be broken under the right circumstance. I'm telling you for a fact, if you do not curb it in time, if you do not identify it in time and say, okay, this is something I do not want, this is something I want, this is something I don't want to associate with, you know, and just move away from it. If not, you can be broken. Don't even allow it to happen before you fix it. A stitch in time, they say what? Saves 9. So please, don't even do that to yourself. And that was one thing that made me ponder a lot when I got to this page. I just read it and I'm like, this is so true. It's not just something written in a book. It's not just something, you know, that someone just thought about and wrote. Number one, this is from someone's life experience. This actually happened. It happened for real, for a fact. So this is a major takeaway for me from this chapter. And of course, several other things followed suit. Another part, you know, that was intriguing for me was the fact that, you know, when David, his brother and his mother decided to move out, they decided that at this point we can no longer take it. Their father was abusing them. He was abusing the mother, beating her, slapping her, and was still moving around, you know, not respecting his marriage, not respecting his wife, not respecting his children. So at the point where they couldn't take it anymore, in fact, it doesn't even allow them to go to the hospital. When they are sick, he treats them at home. Don't expose me to nobody, don't talk to anybody. And he thought at the time that he was on top of the world because he was working with the high and mighty, the top guys. So when they decided that they can no longer take it, that they don't want this anymore, they walked out. They were able to leave, they left. But when they left, they almost returned because they had no money on them. In fact, that night they left, while on the way, the car broke down and the woman was so devastated and she almost returned. Thank God for her friend who encouraged her and said, no, please keep moving, you're not going back to that animal. So at the end of the day, they moved out of his place, got to a clean space, a better space, but no money. In fact, by the time David got back to school, I think his first teacher, you know, was so helpful, looking after him and all that. But next class he got to, he was labeled. He was labeled, you know how they do ADHD, autism, even sent to a therapist. And at the end of the day, nothing was helpful. And I think he resulted into cheating. So because, I mean, in class, he couldn't read. He couldn't pass his exams and all that. So when he saw that there was no way forward, he started cheating. He would copy his neighbor's assignment. He would dub in, you know, in class when they're having tests or exams. And he thought that was helpful. But at the end of the day, darkness cannot send out darkness, right? So cheating did not help him because he was not fixing the problem. He was running through it. He was cheating his way through it. He was cutting corners, but cutting corners will not take you anywhere. So at the end of the day, it even made it worse. And that is where we are right now. That was the end of chapter 1, where he was actually regretting. He was saying, no, I thought, in his words, he said, I started cheating. Studying was hard, especially with my screwed up brain. That's what he called it himself. But I was a good cheat. He could not read to recall particularly, yeah. But he could cheat, and he was cheating excellently well. Then he said, I thought I had solved a problem, when really I was creating new ones. Of course he was, because he was not fixing the problem. When they see his result sheets, they will feel like, oh, this is great, this is awesome, you're improving, you're trying, you're doing well, thumbs up, right? But it's not help him because they can't fix the problem. They can't help him if it already seems like he's doing well. So it's like, oh, the problem is being solved. So you're trying, now you're coming up, but nothing has changed. In fact, it's even worse because he's not even trying at all. No, so that's that for chapter 1, right? Like I said, there is a challenge attached to each chapter and you have to do them. So there is this challenge on page 43. And it's basically about taking inventory. It says, my bad cards arrived early and stuck around a while. But everyone gets challenged in life at some point. I mean, he had his own from childhood. He was a little boy when he had his own, yeah? So he's asking us now, all of us, what is your bad hand? What kind of crap are you dealing with? Are you getting beaten, abused, bullied? Do you feel insecure? Maybe your limiting factor is that you're growing up so supported and comfortable, you never get to push yourself. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. What are the current factors limiting your growth and success? Is someone standing in your way at work or at school? Are you underappreciated and overlooked for opportunities? What are the long odds you're up against now? Are you standing in your own way? So basically, what are your problems right now? What's standing in your way? What problems are you facing? Is it something from your childhood? Is it a trauma from childhood? Or is it something you're facing right now? Or are you even your own problem? And this, you have to journal. You have to, take it out in your journal. You have to write it down. It's good. You can use your phone. You can get a book. Just jot it down. You're basically taking inventory. And you doing this, will be connected to the other challenges, so you have to do it. So just write it down. What is the problem, So yeah, what about reading? How can we begin to own our pain and use it as a platform for growth? That's what you're supposed to generally ponder on. But what you're writing right now is the pain itself. So what's that pain? What's your pain right now? Something that is holding you back, something that is not allowing you to grow, that is hindering your growth, sort of. What's that pain? So like I said, it could be something currently happening, or something that's happened in the past but is still affecting you currently. Something from your childhood, something from even your adulthood, something at work, something in school, something with your partner, something with your friend, with your sibling, your family, your parents, whatever it is. Note it down. What is that pain? What is that problem that you're currently facing? Just note it down, and you should, go ahead to read chapter 2, which is titled "Truth Hurts." Of course, we know what that is already, but let's read it. Let's read it so we can discuss it better. When next we come up here. So I do hope this is helpful and you're encouraged to read the book for the month of June 2025. Again, it's David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. But you know how we do it. You don't have to read this particular book, but read something. It could be an academic book in school. It could be a novel, self-help, politics, fiction, whatever you want to read, Read something because it's helpful. It keeps your mind alert, engaged, and it's really nourishing, opens up a lot of horizon. And I do hope that we get to do this often. We get to do this again. If you have any questions, you have comments, please put them in the comment section. I will definitely come back to it and respond to your questions, your comment, and we can take the conversation further. Thank you plenty for engaging this, and I will see you in the very, very, very next. Take care of you, and bye.